Hello, EthDenver. Hey everyone, I am Micah Baylor. I'm the lead benefit steward at Opolis, and today I'm here to talk to you all about healthcare, health insurance as a public good. Yeah, we got a lot to unpack. You see, it was December the 4th, 2024, at 6:30 in the morning, that CEO Brian Thompson was shot in the streets of New York. Now, if Brian Thompson was anyone other than the CEO of America's largest health insurer, we probably wouldn't know about him. But the fact of the matter is that people are so frustrated with America's healthcare system that they shot the CEO of United Healthcare in the back on a normal morning in December. Written on the bullet casings: delay, deny, depose. The words that every health insurer uses to drag out claims, to deny claims, and to put more money into their coffers. You know, it's never a good thing when there's murder in the streets. But the fact of the matter is that 550,000 American families went bankrupt in just 2024. We're up to our eyeballs. We're frustrated with this. 550,000 Americans went bankrupt. United Healthcare covers 50 million of them. That's a ratio that's just not okay. I mean, if the customer satisfaction rate was that good at Wendy's, no one would be going to Wendy's. The problem is a lot. At the end of the day, it's just a broken system. You can't hate the player, you have to hate the game. And the game in healthcare is make profit, return profit to Wall Street. Health insurers are allowed to make 15% profit, and the incentive is to grow the overall cost of doing things as much as possible because, hey, they can only make 15%. So they got to make 15% on more cost. So they add steps and extra processes, redundancies, administration, deny appeal, prior authorization. You all understand. Over the course of the last years, health insurance profits have skyrocketed. And when they dipped a little in 2024, health insurance companies come out and they tell us, oh, we're not making as much money as we used to, things could get bad. When in reality, they reported less profit, but had more stock buybacks than they've ever had on recorded history. American satisfaction in healthcare continues to dwindle. Something's broken, something's got to give. And I believe the thing that must give isn't the players. The players are often well-intended people. However, it's just that they're working in a broken system that only rewards increased Wall Street dividend. Send more money to Wall Street. The only thing you can do is open cooperatives. Cooperatives are not big government. They're not big government takeover of healthcare. They're not big insurance. Cooperatives can often operate just like a business. They can grow coffers, they can pay claims, but they can be owned by the people who are using them. So what might it look like? It might look something like this. The first thing you need to know is what's currently happening. Hey, when you send $100 to the health insurance company, it goes in a few different buckets. Usually, only about 50% is actually going to paying for your doctor and your pharmacy stuff. That's all. And then what they do is they sell you pharmaceuticals that they've marked up God knows how much. They buy in bulk and then sell you the individual price. They're incentivized to have as much administration as possible because, again, they can only make 15%. And then at the very top of this awful stack is just endless profit taking at the top, with more and more reinsurers and just little fractions adding cost to your bottom line and honestly taking away your ability to get the care you need. If you just made it community owned, I mean, hypothetically, right? If you just put it on chain, then, when you're in the dark, you see ghosts. And when you put it on chain, you bring light to the system. You start to see where the dollars are going, and you're more okay with it. The thing is, though, is that if it's community owned, there's not just a incentive to make profit for Wall Street quarterly reports. There's also an incentive to take care of the people who own it. So you can lower administration, you can take out all this overhead, all this process that's been added to the system just to grow the cost of it. This is honestly conservative. If you made health insurance awesome, I have 10% savings at the top, but I'm being judicious. Yeah, it's very possible. I've seen plans that maybe would be better than 10%. And something that you can definitely do when you bring the total cost of healthcare on chain is generate a lot of real yields. Health insurance premiums are paid every single month. No one's going to miss that. They don't want to get sick and not have the ability to go see the doctor. And there's profit in health insurance. You can simply create real yield that pays the stakers way less money than the insurance companies are taking from us. You really only need 3 pieces to have an insurance company. You need to have a network, you need to have claims administration, and you need to have a ton of money. And the network idea is honestly from like the 1980s, and it's just outdated technology. There's better technology. It's called cash. You give a doctor cash on the spot, and the doctor actually charges you less because they don't have to go fight the insurance company for their money. It's pretty amazing. Cash works anywhere. You can still build things like, PPO into the back end, but try to pay cash first. All that you're doing is removing the incentive to deny and delay. You're making it so that it takes care of the community first. Network, not actually that big of a problem. There's a lot of solutions out there in TradFi insurance. Claims administration, it's the same thing. Like, it's super easy to get ACA compliant claims administration done, and then you can just gradually bring this on chain once you know all of your privacy is firmly in place. Certainly, you can't mess around with privacy pertaining to health information, but it's also a thing where, ZK proofs and these things can make it happen. Fully autonomous on-chain claims, not that far out, not that many steps as you would think. And then the money. There's $14 billion locked up in just EigenLayer. There's billions of dollars in staked crypto assets. And what all of them want is a real yield. All of them are just looking for real yield. And guess what you can do? You can just do math. Like, people have been doing actuarial underwriting on how much risk is inside of a health insurance pool for a long time. And you can bake in real yield into your health insurance protocol for the purpose of borrowing liquidity from that protocol when things heat up and there's more sick people than normal. Money. The 3 pieces, all of those things on chain, all community owned, not that far out. Why now? I don't know. The current landscape, maybe this is more like a landscape slide for you all. There's a big trend in the provider industry. We're talking about hospitals. We're talking about cardiologists, ear, nose, and throat specialists. We're talking about the people who actually take care of you. There's a huge movement in this group of people to just take cash. In fact, 17,000 clinics take only cash in America. They say, we're done with the networks, we'll take only cash. I'm seeing 74% reductions in the cost of claims when you don't run your claims through the network. Remember those insurance companies, how they were going to build networks that negotiated better prices for us? Turns out, if you just pay cash, it's like a lot cheaper most of the time. Why now? Hey, employers are looking for a different option. Most people get their health insurance from their employer in America, and the rising cost of healthcare has been the #1 pain point outside of like just being broke for any business in the US. When you take it on chain, you gain a lot of transparency. You give employers the ability to actually take care of their people. I mean, 50% of employers in the US are cutting benefits this year. They're cutting costs or they're cutting the quality of their benefits. And they've been doing that every year for the last decade. They've been doing that as long as I can remember. The current system certainly isn't sustainable. There's $4.8 trillion in premiums paid every single year. And 50% of those people are going to change their health care this year. These health insurers have underwritten profits into our premiums and stored away $8.4 trillion into their coffers. Imagine if only healthcare was community-owned for a decade. How much money would we have sitting in our coffers, and what would we do with that yield? How would we take care of our community? How would we do the conversations that no one has an answer for right now? Mental health, fertility treatment, IVF, all of these things could just become more and more accessible if we give the power to the people and remove bureaucracy to replace it with technology. Public good, community owned. What you've got is on one side of the aisle, you've got the right. You got the right and you got the left. On the right, they cry out, we don't want a government takeover of health insurance. Government takeover of health insurance. Who would possibly want that? And big insurance will spend tens of millions of dollars promoting that propaganda anytime that we have a public option come available. We will never see a centralized government health system in the US. It is entirely too easy to market government takeover of healthcare and have people show up at the ballot box and vote no, even if it would actually take care of them. We've seen it time and time again. And on the other side, you've got the left. They don't want big insurance. They think for-profit insurance is evil. And yeah, for-profit health insurance is inherently evil. I'd agree. The only thing that I can think to do after spending 13 years doing group healthcare is just to make it all community owned. Cooperatives are, they're corporate vehicles that can operate in a capitalistic environment, and if they accidentally make money, then that money can sustain the community that it came from. There's just no other option. People shouldn't have to pay insurers profits to access the care that they need. I think I said 50% earlier. Turns out it's 53% of employers plan to make a change. 80% of consumers think health insurance companies prioritize profits over patients, and they are right. Health insurers deny claims at an all-high rate. United Healthcare set up an AI that denied 90% of the claims that came its way. 90% of the claims that came its way. Why is that? Because, hey, the longer they hold on to your money, the longer they're getting profits off of your money sitting in their vaults and sitting in their coffers. They have no incentive but to deny, delay, and depose your claim, and America's sick of it. The only people that are happy with healthcare are people who are not using it. That's pretty much what I got, guys. It's incredibly easy. Incredibly hard. I mean, honestly, like taking on big insurance is going to be like fighting an ugly gorilla. They're going to pump out propaganda as they always have done, and they're going to fight at all costs to protect their profits because it's super sustainable money. Once you get a big enough group of people together, you just do math and you know how much money you're going to make in a given year. It's pretty much that straightforward. No, when I say it's going to be incredibly easy, what I'm talking about is mostly this insurance beast is not as complicated as you might think. All of the complexities that you maybe you don't understand, it's propaganda. They've created this confusing, complex system so that when you think of it, you immediately want to stop thinking of it. That's how it works. And at the end of the day, it's really just black and white. Is a person sick or hurt? Pay the claim. Networks? Why? All doctors take money. Pharmacy? If you buy in bulk, you should be getting the bulk discount. These people shouldn't be buying a million Wellbutrin doses for 10 cents and turning around to sell them to you for $4. And this happens all the time, every day. No, these things don't have to be. ACA compliance, black and white. ERISA compliance, black and white. Insurance compliance, black and white. The only thing that we need is a whole lot of people to just jump in the thing at the same time. And then, we'll just be better together. I think that's my point. If anyone has questions, thoughts, concerns, I would take a question. Otherwise, I'll wish you all a beautiful day and hope that you don't have to go run into your co-pays and deductibles anytime soon. I'm Micah Baylor, lead benefit steward at Opolis, and thanks for coming around to chat with us today. None of you want to talk about your PPO? Okay. Bye-bye, friends.